All right, am I live? Let us see. Hello, hello. I'll keep the thing over there. Well, we had some fun last night. I spent all this time making this background, and now I'm tired. I want to go to bed. So last night at 11:22, we get on and we say g'day. And I thought I couldn't believe how many of you lunatics were up at 11:20 at night and jumped on a Facebook Live. Like, it was crazy talk. Oh, there's the stream over there. So I'll be able to keep track of your comments and see if there is anything to this late broadcast that might be the secret to mass opt-in and engagement. Because last night I started a Facebook Live at 11:22, went till 5 minutes past 12. So just a quick half hour. Made more sales in that half hour because I'm not going to plug anything tonight. I got nothing left to plug. But we had an end of financial year sale yesterday, and I made more sales between 11:22 and midnight on this late show impromptu thing. I just started a Facebook Live and thinking no one would be on, maybe one person, and it was crazy. So I reckon there might be something to this late night Facebook Live thing. So already 13 people, and often when I go live during the day, there'll be this amount, or there'll be 20, but there'll never be hundreds. And there was hundreds on last night, hundreds of people viewed. So there you go. Maybe there's a little tip for you that you might want to go live. Once you get a bit of following on Facebook, you might want to go live late at night and see what your followers do in your neck of the woods, So anyway, food for thought. So who's on? Asim's on. Asim was on last night and he bought. He made a little. Asim, Naomi took the credit for that one. I spoke to her this morning. For those who were on last night, I sort of begged because I wanted to make one sale before bed, and Naomi went to sleep. I said, no, I'm not going to do a live. I'm going to sell one more, just one more. And we ended up selling 5 more, and Asim was one of them. So that was pretty cool. So that was pretty cool. And so Asim, thank you, mate. But Naomi, when I told her this morning, did take credit for it. And she said, oh, I sold him all day. I was talking to him all day. I primed that one. You just converted it or something. So she took credit. There is Jason Macnamara. Let me tell you something about that man. Go have a look at Ipswich Real Estate. He works in business with a colleague of mine, a friend of mine from the last, I've probably known Dylan. He's probably my first ever customer, perhaps, back in 2008, maybe 9. And Jason McNamara is now in business with him, works for him at Ipswich Real Estate. And Dylan Ansoms is the fellow I've known forever. I don't think I've ever met Jason face-to-face, but I've seen that man marketing out in my old home stomping ground town of Ipswich. I tell you, I can say this very confidently. He is one of, perhaps only in comparison with Danny Hayes, Michael Spillane perhaps. Michael Spillane's probably one of the best marketers of property I've ever seen. Jason McNamara is up there, potentially even on par with, and that's a statement, so I don't even know if I want to go that far, but I tell you what, he is close, if not on par with Daniel Hayes as the best natural marketer that I've had nothing to do with in the real estate industry. Because I get no credit for Jason. He's never been in a seminar, I don't think, and I don't think he's ever studied the word I've ever said. But boy, oh boy, does he know marketing. He is fantastic. So follow Ipswich Real Estate, follow Jason McNamara, because he is as good as I've ever seen. Look, I kind of take pride in some of my guys being pretty good, right? Jason's a natural. He is unbelievable. So have a look at his natural charisma, his marketing chops, his ability to engage with an audience, even with a graphic, his social media humanity, I don't know what you want to call it, authenticity is probably the word, is as good as I've ever seen. I mean that. Now I'm not just being tired and emotional. I mean, he is great. So check it out. Ipswich Real Estate, Jason McNamara. Man, thanks for jumping on, bud. I appreciate it. I love that property that you were walking us through today. Again, out there in the old stopping grounds of Ipswich, this beautiful old place. It's got hidden tunnels for stashing all sorts of contraband and it's a lovely property. So if you're in the market for an 1800s home out a classic out Ipswich way, yeah, Jason's your man. So Jason, if you're not already the number one agent in Ipswich, we need to talk. Or maybe you don't want to work that hard. I don't know. But mate, I'll be honoured to do something and kind of yeah. See, there's the thing. I wouldn't be able to teach you anything, but if we did any coaching or anything, I'd get credit. So maybe don't. Maybe just stay where you are, because you don't want me taking any credit for any of your success when you are freaking amazing, man. So there you go. All right. So now that I've gone down on Jason for 10 minutes, hey, I promise I've never met him, hey, but I don't think so anyway. There we go. There's Nicci Daniele. Speaking of amazing marketers, Jason, gang, follow Nicci Daniele down in Albany, down in WA, 5 hours southeast of Perth. I have made that drive, and I've spent some time in office with Nicci. And speaking of marketing beasts, that woman just went in there and took over a town, and So yeah, no, it's she's amazing. So hello, Nicci. Hi, Glenn. How you doing? Come by. I'll come by in Albany. She's not even saying hello. She's saying, quick, come buy some listings. See, we're always on. I like it. Yeah, I tell you, with all this COVID mess, look, I've been looking for acreage. I've been checking out Toowoomba and Warwick, and I've been sort of doing my homework. So never say never, Nick, because I love your neck of the woods. It might be a little bit cold for me down the bottom there, but it is a lovely part of Australia. If you haven't been to Albany, guys, go down and look up Nicci Daniele. You won't have to look very hard. She'll be as soon as you enter the town, your phone will start buzzing with social media chops. You'll see billboards with her face all over it, and sign-written cars, and just you'll see her everywhere. But yeah, so no, Nicci's great. So welcome, Nick. Sam Patton, you coming in from Vietnam, man? What's going on? What are you doing over there? Working? So what's the plan? How is the world over in the Viet? Have you guys got the corona like some of our? I think most of our states are actually doing pretty good, but I am told Victoria is maybe not so, although, but then I hear one thing in the media and who knows. So anyone from Vic can say g'day and update us. But, I tell you, what the worst thing about this corona, ever since February, the worst thing about it has been just the sheer level of probably fear-driven intolerance, rudeness, just people yelling at each other and being cranky at each other. I had some people cranky at me that I wasn't panicking enough, because I was sort of maybe showing a sense of positivity and a sense of we'll get through this and all of that. But because I wasn't screaming at everyone to hide, I was in trouble with some people, so, and not just, this wasn't an isolated incident. It was many. It wasn't the majority, of course, of my database. I've got 40,000 on my database. So I didn't get 5,000 emails to this effect, but it was multiple piece of communication saying that I wasn't cranky enough. And that's, I think, been the worst thing, is just the sheer, I sound like a fuddy-duddy when I say rudeness, but I can't think of a better word. Intolerance, rudeness, just aggro. You know what I mean? That's the word. It's aggro. Just people getting aggro at each other because, and that's the thing, just because, wear a mask, don't wear a mask, protest, don't protest. If you don't believe the person, or you don't agree with the person, it seems that a whole bunch of people just want to yell at anyone who kind of doesn't just share their precise opinion about the validity or lack thereof of COVID, or the solutions, or the cure, or the prognosis, or whether or not you can protest during a COVID, or it's just yuck. Says John, saying no new cases in 70 days over in, that's in Vietnam, isn't it, Sam? Yeah. So Vietnam, no new cases in 70 days. That's good, man. That's good. I hope that that is the case there. And one day the world can get back to some sense of normalcy, So John saying, yeah, Glenn, we had another 70 cases today, not slowing down soon by the looks of it. But you know what I like? What I've heard is the case is maybe even going up, but I've heard the death rate is going down. So if that's the case, what that means is that percentage where they're saying that 10% of the people who catch it die, that is vastly overstated. If cases are going up, but they're not commenting on the death rate and that's going down, that truly does mean that we got the response potentially maybe a little too far, because the death rate is somewhere similar to a flu, right? So now, look, I'm not going to play backyard Facebook epidemiologist like half of the country did, and because one minute we go from Facebook expert on epidemiology and pandemics and all of that, and the next week we're experts on racial relations and whatever restitution for color wars and things. I don't know. So I just try not to play in that. I'm expert at nothing. I'm pretty good at one or two things, and none of them are epidemiology and bloody, I don't even know if that's even the right word. Sounds like a skin condition, but epidemics and bloody diseases and cure rates and yuck. Just kind of, Eddie Murphy once said, and I'm going to swear, which will probably turn this into it won't be able to be an ad, so I won't be able to use this. But Eddie just says, my motto in life is just be happy with motherfuckers. That was Eddie. My motto in life is just be happy with motherfuckers. I am down with all that racism shit. That was Eddie Murphy. It was either in Delirious or Raw. Can anyone tell me which one? When Eddie Murphy was talking about racism and he says, my motto in life is just be happy with motherfuckers. Was that Delirious or Raw? I think it might have been Raw, because it was a bit where he was saying that people said, it might have been Delirious, where he said, you better not go to Texas. They fuck you up. That? And so there you go. Eddie had it right 30 years ago. Remember when we were young enough when Delirious came out, and your parents, when Delirious was out, we were all very underage, most of us on this live here. Because I would have been, I don't know, maybe 10 or something. When was Delirious out? 82, I think. So I would have been 10. So we'd have to watch Delirious, and I'd put it on a tape, right? And then turn it right down, and then put my ear up to the speaker to listen to Delirious or Rodney Rude. I have it so low you could barely hear it. Then I have my ear pressed up to the speaker. So my parents didn't know that I'd be listening to Eddie Murphy saying all that foul-mouthed stuff. Oh, geez. I don't know if anyone can empathize. So, yeah, there you go. All right. Is my Facebook Live still working over there? I don't know what's going on. Maybe my internet's dead. Hey, am I still with you? I'll just share. Refresh my screen. I never know if this little app is still streaming. Let's have a look. Ignorance, matey. That's the word. We love you. Yeah, well, ignorance about some things, Nicci. I kind of, I don't, you know what? Actually, part of me doesn't want to know some of this stuff. I agree. So no one can help me. Which one of those was it? Was it Eddie Murphy, Delirious, or Raw, where he says, my motto in life? You could probably Google it. My motto in life is just be happy with motherfuckers, because racism, and he's talking about going to Texas and that. I reckon it's Delirious. I reckon I can picture him saying it in the red suit, in that red leather skin tight suit that the girls in the 80s went mad for. So Greg McDaniel, 2020 is a dumpster fire. We all just need to love on each other and stop judging everyone else. Let's get back to work and life. I agree, Greg. Greg McDaniel, the great host of the Real Estate Uncensored podcast. I urge you to all check that bad boy out. It is over there at the YouTubes, Real Estate Uncensored. Just avoid the episodes with a big bald guy. You don't want to listen to them. He rambles too much. But all the other episodes are fantastic for Greg McDaniel and the Real Estate Uncensored podcast with his co-host, the author of Micro Famous, the great Matt Johnson. And so, yeah, they're great. They've brought them down to Australia to speak at events before. I've done events with them over there, and they are truly fantastic at this business of real estate. So, yeah, good to see Greg on. I don't know what time must be over there, Greg. Very early in the morning, I think, and Greg's not normally an early riser. There's Tracy Bulmer. Hello, Tracy. I've known Tracy I tried to recruit Tracy into our business in 2000, and I don't even know what year, maybe 2005. So, yeah, best property manager in the game. I've always used her as an example of, how property managers got this this reputation of being, well, let's just say, well, I've already sworn, so I've already screwed the PG rating of this stream. So, property managers, the stereotype is they've got to be bitchy in order to put up with dickhead tenants and all of that sort of thing. So they've got to be a hard ass, grumpy old bitch, right? I tell you, Tracy, she said 2003, I tried to recruit her. Okay. So with Tracy, right, I had a listing that she was the property manager of. So now I didn't even know that was a mortal sin to sell a property from out of someone else's rent roll and give them a Form 10, which is the form that says, hey, I've got a listing on a property in your rent roll. Can I have the keys? Owner's asked, whatever, right? I was a rookie. I had no idea that that was like the devil. And so, and yet Tracy treated me so courteously and respectfully. It was amazing, right? Just an incredible, incredible person. So what turned out is that here I am, an opposition's agent selling one of her properties in the rent roll that she worked in. She didn't own it, but maybe if she owned it, she would have been crankier at me. I'm pretty sure her boss at the time wasn't happy with me, but she was delightful, right? So I thought she was amazing. I know her sellers loved her. I know her tenants loved her, right? So and she was growing a rent roll at a rate of knots. So where's this whole, you got to be a bitch to be a great property manager? Can't you use, some rapport skills? Can't you use being nice to get what you want instead of being a grumpy old bitch? Maybe we should test our rapport, gang. Anyone who's a principal licensee in here, and you got a grumpy old bitch for a property manager, maybe you should get Tracy Bullman to come in and do some training for your team and show them another way. Because I'm telling you, it was doing good. It was very cool. Tried to recruit her for 10 years and get her into our business. So Greg McDaniel says it is now 6:06 a.m. There you go. And there's John Edmonds. It was Eddie Murphy Raw. Boom. There we go. There you go. Thanks, John. It was delirious. Sorry, did I say Raw? It was Eddie Murphy Delirious. And as I said before, I may have got it wrong then, but I got it right there. Because, I could picture the red suit when he's talking about racism and he says, my motto in life is just be happy with motherfuckers. Eddie, that is my motto in life too. There you go. All right. What do you think of the late show? You think it's a good time to jump on? Definitely you guys are more chatty than during business hours. That's a good thing. So what's everyone doing? Is everyone just lying in bed watching Facebook and then a stupid idiot comes up and you jump on? Is that why there's more engagement at midnight? Because last night's was at midnight. It was at 11:20 till midnight. Yeah, like I said, in that half hour, we made sales and it was great. I got nothing to sell tonight. I don't know. If you want to have a chat about me doing there, the only thing I've got to sell, I've been doing social media for agents, like literally, because most don't want to learn the skills to do it. So I've trained up a team of, young folk. So the wages are cheap and I'm going to lend them to you if you want for me to do your social media. I actually did some lead generation for Tracy Bulmer in her property management business now. And we were generating leads. I can't remember the exact numbers, but I know they were attractive because I measured the numbers and versus how many that turned into rentals and landlords, and the numbers really stacked up. It might have been maybe $10 per rental appraisal or something like that. So knowing that each management's worth $3,000, a $10 lead in the door, a request for a rental update or whatever the offer was we were making was pretty good. So if you want me to do your property management for you, you can PM me if you like. And we'll have a yarn about what it costs, but it costs nothing. It's just, I want to say it costs nothing. It costs very little compared to what you get in that you're just sort of looking after the wages for my team to do it for you, to do the property management, to do the property management. See, that's how tired I am. To do the social media branding, lead generation, everything for you. So it's a pretty good service. It's going well. It's one agent per area. So if your area is already spoken for by a friend of mine or a client or something, then I can't. But if your area is free, just give me a buzz and maybe PM me your postcode or something, and I'll reach out to you and see if we can do it. So it's cool. Greg McDaniel says it's midnight for you right now. It is 11:11, Greg, 11 p.m. Yes, it is. Greg is in inland a little bit from San Francisco. So he's what do they call it? Not the Democrat, the other one. He's a Republican in the middle of downtown Democratness. So, he's one of the all-time greats, our Greg McDaniel. So thanks for jumping on, man. Have I missed anyone's commentary or anyone's questions or anyone? There's Justin Brady. G'day, my man. And Mike T. Oh, Mike T, my partner in cryptocurrency. Hey, Mike T was one of my buyers last night and he paid in crypto. I'm experimenting and playing with cryptocurrency at the moment. So I am accepting, actually, there's this one particular crypto that I'm playing with, and I'm accepting all of my services in cryptocurrency. Just FYI, if you've got some Bitcoin or some bank coin or something that you've got burning a hole in your pocket, I'll take it because I'm playing around with the crypto. So there's John. Hit me up, pal. 3818. Just John, can you hit me up? Can you just PM me? That'll remind me. That way I don't have to do anything because I'm bugged. I've been up since 4. I tell you, hey, here's what I can help you guys out with. Have a look at Harden Property. I was in Harden Property's office all morning this morning. All morning and most of the afternoon. Have a look at what those crazy sons of guns are doing. Have a look at their Facebook chops. And then when I tell you that they are a startup company, they've been in business for just over 6 months. They've written 650,000 GCI this financial year alone. Not this financial year. That would mean they've written 650,000 today. No, they haven't written 650 this financial year. They have written it in this calendar year. Despite COVID, they're on track in their first year of business. Alex Harden has had no experience in real estate. Felicity Harden was out of real estate, but years ago was in a Genman agency, I believe. So a startup met me late last year, kind of started their business then. And you have a look at their page and you tell me it looks like the page of a rookie startup agency. Given that there's 2 of them, there's one listing and selling, that's Felicity, and Alex is kind of like not a PA, but he's the marketing and the admin and the systems, and she's sort of front of house and he's back of house, if you will. Really is. It's kind of like a PA role / general manager role that Alex is in, and Felicity is listing, selling, negotiating, and all of that. And they are totally destroying. So have a look at them. They're one to watch, one to model. Have a look at their strategies that they're doing. And that's what to do, for anyone who used to follow the principle of, hey, look at what my competitors are doing. Hey, let me just copy them from, letterbox drops or something. Well, the days of letterbox drops are ending or over. So don't copy your competitors' letterbox drops. And here's the other thing. For most of your competitors, don't copy their social media strategies because they're an embarrassment. There's 3 likes on their listings, them, their PA, and their mother-in-law, and you'll see the same 3 likes on every one of their listings because not one of their consumers is looking at their stock whatsoever. And then go compare it to Harden Property. Then go compare it to Megan Reed property out at Megan Reed, MEAG, right? Reed, READ. Compare, check it with Paul Tonich, right? Check it with, my students who are doing the listing principle well. And then compare it to, most of your competitors. You have a look at your competitors. They got 4 likes on their listings, no likes on their open home invites. What that means is no engagement, that no one is looking at their stuff. I tell you, there's a better way. So that's what I've been doing all day, and I am spent. So yesterday was 3 a.m. till 12:30 and p.m. So 3 a.m. till 12:30 a.m. So it was a 22-hour day. So, 21-hour day. And today was 4 a.m. till 11:15. So I'm buggered. So I am going to bed. The first episode of The Late Show, done. I don't know if it was entertaining or not. You tell me. Terry Cooper just jumped on. Terry, hey, can you do me a favor? You missed all the fun. So go back to the start of this show and watch it and tell me if I'm a tired, rambling moron, or whether, hey, this might be worth kind of doing and hanging a little bit and kind of doing this. John is saying, playing on Adobe After Effects, mate. You are, or I? Oh, that's what, maybe you said that in response to what are you doing up so late, perhaps. Yeah, okay, After Effects, mate, I had to play with that. That is not an easy program. If you've got the tech chops to mess around on that. I played around on After Effects, right? And it took me like 10 hours to get a lightsaber to go, say this is the lightsaber, right? To go like that to there. Like to move like that. That took me so long. And I thought, I'm not going to be a video special effects expert. I am not going to do it. So, so John, definitely give me a PM, man, about me looking after your social media for you. We'll have it looking like Harden Property before you know it. Won't take us too long. So very cool. Andy Wilson, how you doing, man? Over in WA there. Good to see you, bud. You're a late joiner. Go back to the start of this video, man, when I finish. Have a look. It was fun. Told a few gags. shout out a few people doing it right. So you've got a few people that you could copy to do some things well, including the aforementioned Harden property, but I mentioned a few others early in the piece. Andrew Rybell, I tried to call you yesterday or today or at some stage. How you doing, man? Good to see you. We can't talk tonight, man. I'm buggered. I've been up since early, but man, let's talk tomorrow. I'm in an office from 9 till 1. So either before 9 or after 1, man. Let's chat. Andrew Rybell, mate, that dude. Tell you, talk about work ethic. He's sort of a bit more, I won't say retired, because he's certainly by no means lazy. He's still a great agent, but I tell you, that man used to be the beast back in the day. When I was listing and selling, that man was the bloke with the work ethic and marketing chops up the wazoo. I remember I saw him doing a backflip because he could do a back thing. So he's there upside down saying, I'll bend over backwards for you or something. He was an animal, workaholic, maniac, doing great business, and turned into a real measured, solid business owner in the decade that I've known him since, So it's one of the all-time good guys, that one. So check him out, Andrew Rybell from Redcliffe, from on the peninsula, So yeah, no, good dude. All right. So man, yeah, Gemini brother. That's exactly right. He's born, I think, the day after or 2 days after me, maybe the day after. So June 9 and June 10, I think Andrew's June 10 or 11. So yeah, happy birthday for the other day, man. I think I missed you on the day. I know you call me every year, man. You're a bloody champion. I think I called you a couple of days later, but I definitely called you yesterday, but or earlier today. But yeah, we keep missing each other. But then, what are you gonna do, man? Everyone's busy, and we're coming out of COVID, and we're. Hey, I've been playing with this. Let me show you the one thing before we go. It's still rocking. My stream over there kind of always keeps pausing on me. I don't know if it pauses on you or if it's decent quality, but. Let me show you what I've been messing around with today. Now, this is old, right? This is old. I haven't done these for a long time, but let me show you. This was the business card I used to have, right? So it looks normal business card size, but the difference is when you get it, you'll feel that it's kind of not just a normal business card. So I'll hand it to someone and they can't help but look at it because it feels different, because it's got a flap on it that opens up. And now on the front, there's copy, and the copy says more sales, more commissions without painful cold calling and door knocking. So understand the principle of a business card. If this is a marketing weapon, and what does your business card say? Your name, your number, and you're a real estate agent. So it doesn't do what a marketing piece is supposed to do. So a headline, more sales, more commissions without painful cold calling and door knocking, it gets more attention, especially given that with the flap and all of that, you go, what's that all about? And you'll read it. Followed by a testimonial saying Chris Gilmore says, finished the year on $1,040,966. Just did it. Woohoo. Thanks for all your help, mate. Chris Gilmore, Curious Agent of the Year, 2012, 13, and 14. So that's what it says down the bottom there, right? That's the testimonial. So then, but people, you'll see, you'll go, what's that? And you'll play with that if you found this card. And then you'd open it up and you would see that there's more copy. And that says, it's another testimonial. Again, that's a testimonial from Matt Steinwade. Headline that says, want to become the superhero rock star in your area. And then Matt Steinwade says, hey, Twids, just want to say that thanks for that marketing idea that you gave me. It was the best marketing idea that I've been given in the past 10 years and is already generating heaps of inquiry. Thanks a million, mates. There's, again, another testimonial, attention getting graphic from Matt Steinwade. So it's all designed about getting attention, because then people will look at it and there's all this money and another testimonial. And then that pops up, and see how that's a pop-up. It's like a pop-up thing with cash. See, and it says, and there, I think that's the call to action to become number one in your area in 3 years or less, no matter where you are right now. So again, just more copy and a free box set offer to get a free box set of 12 of my best training CDs valued at $1,000, yours free. Go to that URL. So it's designed to not only give my contact details, which are on the back, but actually be kept, get attention, be unique, be the most unique business card you've ever got. Because I guarantee you've never gotten a business card that kind of looks like that does that. And so you'll keep it, you'll show people, you go, oh, look at this ridiculous stuff. Wonder where he got that. So yeah, there's one of the old marketing pieces that I haven't used for a while. I haven't used a business card for a while, because nowadays I give out my book as a business card. So again, same principle though, because what would you keep? A business card with Glenn Twiddle coach on it, or a copy of my book signed Hey, Andrew, mate, it's been an honor knowing you all these years. I'm not dying, I promise, but mate, you're a champion. Signed, Glenn Twiddle. What are you going to do? You're going to keep the book with your name on it and my signature on it. Where's that go? That goes in the bookshelf. Where does a business card normally go? It goes in the bin. So, we sort of progress. But this was the first iteration of me trying to get an attention-getting business card. Inspired by, you want to know where it was inspired by? Can anyone tell me where was me getting a business card that sort of does a bit of weird stuff? Can anyone tell me where that was inspired by? Andrew says, kind words, mate, you are a champion. Thank you, mate, but well-deserved words, bud. Not kind, real, just true. That's all. True. Anyone tell me where that was? Book for a business card works a treat. Absolutely it does, John. Yeah, when you give out, this is what I do, and I'm about to send a business card. I got a phone call from someone who wants to get into real estate, and I spoke to her earlier tonight, a referral from a guy who said, I know someone getting in real estate. Can you have a yarn to her? And so I had a yarn to her, got her address. I'm going to send her a copy of my book. I'm going to send, a thanks for the chat, a little thing. And yeah, that's a business card that I'll send. Cost me all of $1.50 for the printing of that book. It's even got full color photos in the middle, all for $1.50. So what's better, that for $1.50 as a business card or a business card? Tell you, John, you are right. Book for a business card is a great idea. And sign it, sign it in and let me give you another little tip, a calligraphy 2.0 chisel point pen. What that does is it makes the writing just that little bit kind of like a ballpoint pen or a thin pen isn't as good as a 2 millimeter 2.0 art line chisel calligraphy pen. They look real, real nice. So there you go. Certainly look better than a normal pen. All right, there you go. All right. The late show is going to end right now. Vince Salvatore, hey, thanks for jumping on, man. You're too late. I'm going to stop this vid now, and you can go back to the start and have a look at all the entertaining content, fun, ideas, swearing, racism. I didn't display any racism. I quoted racism, though. I was talking about Eddie Murphy's opinion on racism. So it was good fun. Greg McDaniel says, I want a book for a business card. We've already designed it, man. Let's, man, it's ready to go. We need the internals done. So, get my team talking to your team, man, because it's ready to go. Is it Eve? Who's your person? Is it Evelyn or Eve? Let's get that happening, man, because it's a great business card, as John Edwards just said, is a really good idea. For all those cold calls you do, you lunatic, every one of them, imagine if your sign-off was, you've been so, I love, this is one of Greg's scripts. You go, you have been the nicest person I've spoken to all day. Thank you so much. Then he just says, bye. So I would say, you've been the nicest person I've spoken to all day. Thank you so much. Would it be okay? I know this may sound silly, but I'd love to offer you a copy with my compliments. It is recommended retail price on Amazon of $29.95, but I'd love to send you a copy of my book that I've just had published. What address would I send you a signed copy to? You've been so nice. I have to reward you with that. Is that okay? What's the address? What a great sign off, eh? Because Greg, you already make 17,000 cold calls a week. If they signed off with that as the script, man, boom, you'll be on every bookshelf in California, in Northern California, man. So yes, look at that. We need to make this happen ASAP. I like the urgency, Greg, because you normally, you're one of the hardest workers but you're so busy giving other people stuff that you are not one of a taker who takes, stuff for yourself. I've noticed that about you. So, Greg, yes, we do need, in capital letters, to make this happen ASAP in capital letters. Yes, we do. In fact, what I'm going to do, Greg, I'm going to get my team to annoy you until you do it. All right, so here we go. We're going to open up my WhatsApp. Hey, Amy, could you contact Greg McDaniel and don't take his silence for an answer and don't take no for an answer. Greg McDaniel, I think Deb's got his email address, and get his book happening. He said we need, in capital letters, to make this happen ASAP in capital letters. So don't let the fact that he's too busy to respond. Email him twice a day until he responds, gets you what you need to get his book done. We've already had it designed, so we just need his internals and his covers. And if Simone's the one who does that, by the way, just go to Simone. But let's make that happen. Greg McDaniel from San Francisco. You know him. He's the host of the Real Estate Renegades podcast guy. So have a look for his book. It's a red cover, so it's already designed. Get that man happening, and don't take his silence, like literally stalk him until he does what you need him to do. Thanks, Amy. You're a champ. There you go. Greg, I have sicked the hounds on you, sir. It's implement or you or die. All right. Greg says 500,000 calls I have made so far. Holy hell. You have made 500,000 cold calls. Wow. Wow. I used to average about 150 a week. So how many is that a year? 50 weeks a year, 50 times 100. Is that 5,000? 50 times 100? Yeah, 3 zeros. So 5,000. So I used to make about 5,000 a year, and I could only stomach it for about 3 years. So I've probably made 15,000. You have made freaking 500,000. Oh my God. Yeah, okay, mate, you win. You get the title, bro. That's why you came down to Australia, to teach us how to prospect. Because if you haven't learned a thing or two about a prospect in 500,000 cold calls, you ain't never going to learn. So yeah, Greg is a master. And what he does, guys, in order to keep himself, accountable, he goes live and makes calls with you listening, right? So follow Greg McDaniel. Would you do that? Would you do a live cold calling session, making sales with the world watching? Unbelievable. That's pretty cool. Lisa B says, we can't do maths, Glenn. We've already established that, Lisa, that you and I cannot do maths. Yes. We are not mathematicians. We're trying to add something up, me and Lisa. I think it was last night. Or maybe it was another night. I don't know. Like I said, I'm tired but yeah, we were trying to do some maths, and we thought, lucky this whole real estate coaching thing, you don't need to be a mathematician, because that's what Lisa's a coach as well. Actually, Lisa's going to be on the Greg McDaniel podcast at some stage soon, I believe. So the Real Estate Uncensored, the rawest, realest, but most valuable and one of the most downloaded podcasts on planet Earth. It's a real winner. So check it out. Look at that. And Greg McDaniel, the host of that podcast, does 500 to 750 calls a day. When you say we, Greg, oh no, you say I think you said we would do. No, I would do 500 to 750 calls a day. Oh my God. That's all I got to say, Greg McDaniel. That's ridiculous. What's that? 500 a day. That's 2,000 a week. 50 weeks. That's 100,000 a year. Yeah. Okay. Wow, man. You're insane, man. Insane. It was cold calls for those 3 years at 150 a week that drove me to marketing in the first place. Like, because I just hated it. I hated it. So that's what drove me to figure out marketing. So crazy, huh? Yeah. All right, gang. Ronnie DiCarlo says, hello, Glenn Twiddle. Well, hello, Ronnie. Welcome to the late show that's been, I've been saying I'm going to bed for half an hour. I think you guys are PMing each other saying, let's see how long we can keep him talking. He said to go, he's going to bed half an hour ago. Will be interesting to get the stats on them calls, Glenn. It ain't pretty. Now, well, let me give you some context around that. And if you watch Greg's Beers and Calls show, so you just go have a look at Greg's, because he has the recordings all sitting there. They're not live now. He goes live and does them. But of course, those shows, those videos are still sitting on his page right now. So go have a look at Greg McDaniel. So click on the name here and it'll take you to his page. Couple of the tips that I don't know if we've got them here in Australia, but frankly, I don't even want to give you the tips and tell you how he does it, because it's a horrible life, in my opinion. But if you can tolerate what Greg can tolerate, of course, Greg does great business based on that. But here's one of the ways they get good. What they have over there is they have a dialer. And what it'll do, it'll dial out 3 numbers. And then when someone answers one of the numbers, it'll quickly hang up the other 2 lines and connect Greg immediately. So he gets to do triple the dials speed-wise than we do sitting there waiting for a phone to ring. So that's a real piece of technology that helps Greg do more. So that's sort of one way. Michael's saying he's in bed. This is interesting. I don't know about that. I'll take it, Michael, even though I'm kind of disagree with you that me banging on to because that's the thing with this, it's weird because I'm not even talking to anyone. I'm just talking to your guys' comments, you know. You know, it's like the Ben Shapiro show. Ben just sits there and looks at a camera and just talks for hours on end. All right. So Michael, thank you for saying it's interesting, even though I kind of disagree because I don't think I could possibly be interesting this late at night after a long day. But hey, I'll take it. Thank you, sir. I want to be on OnlyFans, an OnlyFans.com agent. What's OnlyFans.com? I'm going to check that out now. I'm going to check out OnlyFans. If it's porn, Michael, you're in trouble. OnlyFans.com. What is that? OnlyFans. What does that do? It is content creators. Oh, there's a woman with a body. That's interesting. There's another woman with a body. Oh, is it a sign up to make money and interact with your fans? Yeah, I don't know. Okay, I'll check it out. I want to make money and interact with my fans. I hope they don't charge you guys for it, though. It's a live streaming platform, it seems like. Don't know. Okay, I will check out OnlyFans. Where are we? All right. Calls the new letterbox drops, Glenn. I'm a bit out of touch, as you know. Absolutely not. They are not. Absolutely. Facebook ads are the new letterbox drop. Me doing this. Look at how many agents are on here chatting with me at 11:30 at night. This is like a touch point from a prospecting perspective. You know, you and I, we've known each other for all this time. We had a couple of calls. We spoke a little bit a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month or so ago, in the middle of COVID. You know, look at this. This is a follow-up call, Andy. You know what I mean? This is the new letterbox drop, not cold calls. I get to connect with, I mean, I don't know how many people have viewed this so far, but it'll be hundreds, 17 likes, right? This is a touch point, just the same as an SMS from your CRM, right? Facebook social media is the marketing equivalent. It's the biggest innovation in marketing and influencing of an audience and marketing a personal brand to an audience, not the organic part of Facebook, but the Facebook paid advertising platform, because the organic's wonderful as well. It's a nice bonus, but the Facebook organic paid advertising platform at 1 cent per impression on average, 1 to 3 cents maybe if you've sort of just starting out your page. But once you train your page a little bit and you use it a bit, then it's about 1 cent per impression. That is the letterbox drop right now. And it's instead of a letterbox drop, because think about this, a flyer used to cost you 20 cents to print, maybe 200 per 1,000. So 20 cents per copy to print and 5 cents to deliver. So it costs you 25 cents for your impression for someone to go, you know, yeah, and in the bin. Now it costs you 1 cent. Now, instead of it going in the bin, they scroll by, but they still do the same thing. Like this would have had reach of maybe so far, I don't know, 1,000 people perhaps. And 850 of them just saw, oh, he's an idiot and just scrolled by. But 150 stopped in and watched for a little while. 18 stopped in, watched for a little while, enough to like. God knows how many comments are on this thing so far, you know, because a bunch of you stopped in and had a yarn for a little bit, you know. That's the letterbox drop. Is that what you're saying? What's the new letterbox? Calls the new letterbox drop. So no, calls and letterbox drops were about the same vintage. Because what Greg would be finding is less people per dial answering. We used to get a 45 to 50% answer rate, meaning half the people we would call would pick up an answer. It can't be anywhere near that nowadays, nowhere near it. So so calls, whilst they still work if you do them in the volumes that Greg does, in my opinion, social media advertising, in particular Facebook, is the letterboxes of the 21st century. And yet here's the difference of that. Unlike the letterbox drops that in the day was just chock full of real estate garbage, and even now mine still is, Facebook is being abysmally used by most real estate agents. And I don't just mean, oh, they're not too good. I mean, most real estate agents should hang their heads in shame with how well they don't do paid Facebook advertising. And you know what? I'm glad they don't. Please don't tell them, because I don't have to get Alex Harden, Chris Gilmore, you know, all of my students or whatever. They don't have to be very good to be totally dominant against their competitors right now when their competitors are doing literally nothing. So the longer they suck, the better for my guys, you know. So there you go. All right. or what are we saying there? Waiting for the new premiere episode of Beers and Calls. Has it been on hiatus, Greg? The new premiere episode. Does that mean that it's been on has it been on a season wrap break or something? So there you go. Greg says I'll be starting it back up very soon. Oh, there you go. So if there is no Beers and Calls, you might have to scroll down on Greg's timeline for a little bit to see an episode if you are wanting to see the one of, if not the greatest cold calling weapon on planet Earth. And for him to do it without a net, like he sits there, goes live like this, right? So what he'll do is he'll dial. What's the time in WA? No, it's 9:30. I was going to say I would make a call to an agent and say, because he'll sit there and talk, but then when the agent answers, he'll just stop. Hi, it's Greg McDaniel here from McDaniel Callahan, and he'll just ignore the live and go straight to the cold call. He'll go straight to the call, and then he'll come back. They'll hang up on him. He'll go, fuckers, and then he'll come back and talk to us while the next dial is happening. So he is a machine. All right. So, oh my God, I'm in trouble. Why are you in trouble, Michael? And John says, I think he means he doesn't want haters. Are we talking about me? We're still back on OnlyFans. Yeah. Well, if you mean I don't want haters, well, no, I don't. But I don't think that's got anything to do with OnlyFans. Or you think Michael doesn't want haters and that's why he wants to be an OnlyFans person, because then it's only people who like him who get on and do this. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, cool. All right, so Michael says, if we reveal more skin, we get more engagement on social media. Yes, unfortunately. Although if I revealed more skin, I would get significantly less engagement on social media. That much I can guarantee. All right, Nik Phillips is on. Nik was on last night on The Late Show as well. Nik says, love it. A new Late Show. To all my friends, check out my mate Glenn Homer. That was my nickname back when I used to play guitar. He is a legend and inspiration to all people seeking to make a change in the world. Well, I don't know about that, mate. I'm kind of not as, let's just say, influential. But I do my best, man. I do my own little part. I do my own little bit. But Nik Phillips, guys, for you guys who don't know, Queensland musical icon. And he's actually looking for one or two in Brisbane. And I spoke to Nik today. He's only got time for one or two more. He's got a new show called Sunshine State of Mind. Right? What a cool title, right? Sunshine. Because he's very patriotic in a lot of his music. One of Nik's songs called Australian Pride. It is on Spotify. So if you just want to check out Nik Phillips, check out Australian Pride on Spotify, and you'll hear an absolutely legendary Australian singer-songwriter with a magnificent patriotic song, guest starring, telling the story of Jeff Fennick, Fred Hollows. Who's the batsman? There's a cricketer. I like to John Williamson, of course, John Williamson. Wonderful song with 3 verses, each verse about an Australian icon, Jeff Fennick, Fred Hollows, the guy with the eyesight, the Australian legendary eyesight pioneer, I suppose, and John Williamson. So great song in that one, Australian Pride. So Nik has a new show called Queensland State of Mind, and he's looking for one or two, maybe even Queensland businesses to do a rehearsal show for free of charge to start getting the new show that he's going to sell to pubs and venues and, big auditoriums and theatres and things. So he wants to do some rehearsal shows for free to start to get his chops in. So if you're a business, Nik Phillips right here in the thing, just click on Nik's name. If you're in Queensland, of course, in Brisbane, and, Brisbane, all the surrounds, of course. And if you're lucky enough and you sort of drop my name and say, hey, Nik, I was listening to you on Glenn Twiddle's thing. Can I be one of them? I tell you, you will have the coming out of COVID staff party from hell, and I do expect an invite. So that'd be great. If you wanted that would be wonderful. So there you go. And Greg said he signed up for OnlyFans. There's a lot of booby girls on OnlyFans, Greg. I reckon. I don't know if you're going to fit in there, but anyway, we will see. And Greg says, I can't wait to see what this does. So yeah, there you go. Nik said, your spirit is an inspiration to many people, mate. We need positive minds at the moment. We are living in a very important time in history. I agree, Nik. Yeah, decisions we make over the coming weeks will affect generations. Lead the way, my friend. Wow. I don't know about that. I don't know if people want to follow me, but mate, You know, I mean, one of Nik's songs is actually called Generations. So Nik's deep in his music, man. He's so good. One of my favorites is one called Someone to Be Kind To. And there's this one called Not In This Life. Have a listen to that. They're all on Spotify. Check them out. Or if you want to support Nik, I mean, musically, you know, musos have done it tough over this COVID time. I think it's on, if you click on Nik's name, it'll take you to his webpage because you can get him on Bandcamp and things of that nature where you can buy the back catalogue. Yeah, Nik's as good as I get. I've got his whole catalog on CD and I've bought it digitally as well. You know, because yeah, he's one of my favorite musicians and you know, on planet Earth out of all of them, you know, and you know, he's great. So check him out. And if you can get a show, I'll come. Literally, I will sit in your business or your lounge room or your back barbecue, wherever it is that you and Nik organized to set up the Sunshine State of Mind show. And I'll sit there and raise a glass and a bourbon with you, and we'll watch one of the all-time Aussie greats. So check out Australian Pride on Spotify right now. Do it now. I'm gonna go. There's look at that. There you go. Nik's put a little link up there for it. All right, gang. There you go. We have done all the late show we're going to do tonight. I don't know how often I'll do it, but I think there's something to this because there's been so many of you guys jump on for this over the last 2 nights. So keep an eye out for your late night Facebook scrolling for that logo up there that I stole from David Letterman. And we'll see what happens. All right, gang, you guys are champions. If you've liked, I don't know, give us a holler, give us a like, chuck a like on my page or something. I don't know, that'd be nice. Follow on Instagram. There you go. That's my big call to action. Give me a follow on Instagram because I'm about to get a little group going where I sort of start experimenting with Instagram on getting that thing rocking. You know, I've always used it as a bit of a second class play on there, but I don't do anything with it. Follow me on Instagram. I'm going to start messing around on that. So there you go. There's a big call to action. Big follow on Instagram. All right, gang, I'm going to take off. I am spent. I've been saying that for an hour. I'll see you guys later. Bye for now.